So Troy wants to know, how can we best find comps on multiples from similar businesses or industries? Hey everyone, it's David Barnett from davidcbarnett.com, the blog site, YouTube channel, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play podcast, where I talk about buying, selling, financing, and managing small and medium-sized businesses. Today I'm answering a question from Troy, who wants to know about finding comparison data from other businesses that have sold. And I've touched on this a few times in the past, but I want to talk about it some more because he's phrased the question in a very interesting way. And the way that he's phrased the question makes me think about real estate agents and comparable home transactions in a neighborhood, for example. So if you're going to sell your house in a given neighborhood of a city, and the real estate agent's going to go and look for other similar homes. Like if you have a 3-bedroom house, they're going to say, here are some 3-bedroom homes in the neighboring streets that have sold recently, and here's what they've sold for. And it's very easy for us to look and kind of determine, hey, that one has a pool, that one has a garage, so maybe my house is worth a little bit more than that one, a little bit less than this one, or what have you. And the instinct that a lot of people have is that this is something we can also do quite simply for businesses too. And here's the issue, okay? And there are a few. But basically, the data of businesses being sold is not as easy to come by because business transactions are private. They're not advertised publicly. They're not in public, registries for property tax values and that kind of thing, where we can often find home sale values, The real estate agents have the multiple listing system, which often records sale prices, so they can access that. The business sale transaction data is private. So when I had my business brokerage office, I was asked frequently by database managers to input my deals into their system. And what I would get would be a very simple form. And they'd be looking for 9 or 10 pieces of data, and I would put them in, and it would go into the system. And the problem is that it's not data necessarily that is transparent and easy to see in one deal from the other. A lot of it was based on the broker's ability to properly normalize the statements. So if a broker made an error in normalizing the cash flow and then put that erroneous cash flow into the database, then there's a piece of bad information in the database. So in my everyday work with my clients, I often have to go look for comparables, and I pay to subscribe to some databases, and there are a few of them out there. And what you want to get access to, if you're looking for this kind of information, is a database of past sale transaction data, not data about asking prices, which you can get from some of the business for sale websites. You don't want that. You want the actual transaction data. And then you have to know how to use the database. So number one, you have to only choose data within a certain range of revenue size of the subject company you're looking at, because even within one industry, as you get a bigger and bigger business, the multiples are going to change quickly. The other thing you have to be able to do is quickly spot if data doesn't seem to make sense, because I will often find transactions in these databases, and when I look at them next to their neighbors, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And what I've likely found is a record that has been put in with information that wasn't created properly. So it's not just what is the multiple, because that's what everyone wants to know. I was on a conversation call, on a call the other day with someone from in a given industry, and they said, we want you to come on to tell all of our business owners what multiple to use when valuing their business. And I said, I can't do that. It doesn't work that well. And it's not that easy. And once you do that to a business, then you get what's called an enterprise value, which has to be further modified based on things like operating capital. And so without understanding everything that goes into it, you can't just take a number and multiply it. And I've got all kinds of videos on this channel that I've created about people who use rules of thumb to value businesses and what kind of problems they can come up with. So even if you have the right number, if you don't use it properly, you're not going to end up with the right end result. So at the end of the day, it comes down to working with someone who's seen these deals and done these deals before, who can help give you some ideas. Now, with some of my clients, if they're looking for a machine shop, for example, I'll work with them, I'll do some research with them, and I'll show them, here's what these machine shops are selling for, here are the multiples, here's the consideration. And then that client will go and analyze their own deals using some of those tools I've taught them, and then they usually come back, and say, look, this one seems to make sense, and it seems to be coming out of this figure. Would you look at this with me? And I do. So is it easy to find? Yeah, you can just open your wallet and you can pay to subscribe to one of those databases. Is it a wise investment? Well, I guess it depends on how committed you are to the process. I would rather see you spend that money, and some of these databases cost a couple $1,000 a year to subscribe to. I'd rather see you use that money to invest in getting the help of someone who's got experience in buying, selling businesses, which may in fact be less money. Learn how to look at a deal on your own. If it seems to make sense to you, then take it to someone who can help you out. That's my best advice. And if you have no idea how to look at a deal on your own to even see if it passes the initial litmus test for whether it might be a good deal or not, then head on over to businessbuyeradvantage.com. You should sign up for my online course. It's 9.5 hours of video tutorials, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to learn what you need to know to discard bad deals. A lot of people have brought bad deals to me and paid to have me analyze them, and I've shown them very quickly why it's a bad deal. If they had taken the program, they would have saved the consulting time with me. Just saying. Anyway, businessbuyeradvantage.com, and thanks, Troy, for your question. We'll talk to you next week.